Hey guys, I can't sleep. The light is so bad in here, but usually I'm bathed in natural sunlight, and right now I'm bathed only in the glow of the little light behind me, bedside lamp, and the light from the computer screen itself. So, yeah, this is what you're getting. At least I put on pajamas for you, in case anybody thinks that I actually sleep in pajamas when I live alone. But yeah, I can't sleep. I haven't been able to sleep much at all lately. Falling asleep is the worst. Once I fall asleep, I wake up like 75 times until it's time to get up, and then I don't wake up at all. So this time of night, what happens is it's like 4 a.m. right now. I've been home in bed since about 1. I went out for decaf coffee and breakfast after work. Healthy breakfast, I promise. But I told the girl it had to be decaf or else I don't sleep. So I don't know if maybe she grabbed the wrong pot of coffee or if I'm just never going to sleep again. That's possible too. So basically, I got home 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Yeah, just before 1. So 3 hours ago, and went right to bed pretty much, like went to the bathroom. I would say wash my face, but I don't wash my makeup off, obviously. I still have mascara. But yeah, kind of washed my face, got ready for bed, went to bed. So TV was off right away. I turned it on for a second and then turned it right back off because I'd already seen the episode of the only show that I kind of wanted to see. So turned the TV off, putzed around on my phone a little bit, whined about life a little, with some friends who were also whining about life, and then turned the light off and went to sleep, or tried to go to sleep about 2 hours ago. That was 2 hours ago, and I'm still awake. I was lying in bed with my eyes closed, trying to relax, doing a little bit of meditative thinking, I guess. My therapist is really good on meditation and mantras and blah, blah, blah. So I try to repeat his mantras to myself, that just to relax me. But it doesn't work for crap. My brain still goes a million miles an hour. And there are people cutting across the lawn into the woods. Hold on. I don't know what they're doing, but it's weird. I don't trust them. Anyway, so yeah, so tried to go to sleep, couldn't go to sleep. Stayed awake, just thinking about stuff. My brain does stuff without my permission. So it's 2 hours later and I'm still awake, and now it's 4 a.m. and I'm starting to think, like, should I just stay up? Because I have somewhere to be at like 2 p.m., which sounds crazy. Like, that's 10 hours from now. Why can't I sleep? But here's the problem. So if I go to sleep right now, let's say I fall asleep right now, and this is everybody who has insomnia does this. If I fall asleep right now and I get 8 hours of sleep, I can wake up at noon. I don't have time to go for a run. I don't have time to do anything before work. Before I have to be somewhere at 2. So I have to leave at 1:30. So if I go to sleep right now, I can wake up at noon, take a shower, and go. So that means I don't get to go to the gym tomorrow, which means that I will feel like crap all day, because that's what happens when I don't go to the gym. And I likely will eat like crap, because that's what happens when I don't go to the gym and I don't have time to prep my meals. So right now, but then I was like, oh, well, maybe I can only get like 5 hours or 6 hours of sleep. So I have my alarm set for actually 10 a.m. That means I would be able to get up, go have coffee and breakfast, go for a run, come home, take a shower, get ready, and go. And that would be plenty of time. But that's only 6 hours of sleep. Do I trust myself to get up after 6 hours of sleep? Not really. So then I'm like, well, maybe I should just stay up and then I can apply for some jobs and get all obsessive about that. But then what happens is I'm not going to want to go for a run either because I'm going to be super tired. And I'm not going to want to eat healthy. And then I get more hungry when I don't sleep. And I just want to eat all kinds of stuff because you're burning more calories. Obviously, your body's not resting. So this is where the craziness comes in. Like, I'm like, I need to sleep, but I can't sleep. So if I can go back to bed and lie down for like another 10 minutes and go to sleep, then I should be okay because 6 hours is a decent amount of sleep. Definitely not good enough. I'm more of a 10 hours of sleep kind of gal. Yeah, 10 hours of sleep is good. But I lie down and I close my eyes and I think about all the crazy things that are going on. Like, I think about world stuff, politics, and foreign relations, and I think about things my friends are going through, like who's sick, who had a bad day, the dilemmas that my friends are having right now with certain stuff, money. My friends are having problems with money. I'm having problems with money. Not that I really like to talk about money, but obviously I'm not working, so money's kind of a problem. And then I start thinking about not working. I'm like, wow, my friends are having money problems. I wish I could help them, but I'm not working. And then I start thinking about the fact that I'm not working. And then I'm like, oh, I really wish I had a job. Wonder why I can't find a job. Wonder if anybody's looking for anything. And then I open my eyes for a second. I'm like, oh, maybe I should check LinkedIn to see if any jobs popped up. But am I gonna really want to apply for jobs in the middle of the night at 4 a.m? Not really. Mostly because I worry that I'm gonna miss something. Like when I'm tired, I'm gonna misspell something or accidentally apply to be like foreign language teacher, which would be fine if it paid at all well. But unfortunately, teaching English overseas doesn't pay it well enough for me to pay my student loans, which is what all this comes down to. So then I start thinking about if I don't find a job in the next 12 days, I think it's 11 or 12 days, that I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through the winter because my income from unemployment and from the rave, which is my one job that I still do have, isn't enough to pay my bills. So I'm subsisting off of my savings account, which would be fine, except for because the unemployment's not enough to pay my bills at all. Like, it doesn't come close. And the extra money from the rave isn't really extra money because they then take money out of my unemployment because I'm working. So working doesn't really do me any good. Not that I'm going to stop, but I don't earn more money on the weeks that I work. I just basically get the same amount of money, maybe a couple bucks extra, but that's about it. So what happens is I have to use my savings account to kind of cover that difference, and it sucks. So that's another stressor I've got going on. And then I have things like, was that regular caffeinated coffee? Maybe it was decaf and I'm just wired up from being stressed out. Maybe it was regular coffee. Why did I order the Fit Slam breakfast and it said it was going to have spinach in the eggs and it definitely did not? And was that regular coffee? It could have been. I kind of wanted to unwind a little bit tonight after work because it was very slow at work. So I kind of get all wired up from standing around doing nothing. And then I got home and still wired up. So then I was like, maybe I should read, but I know me. And if I start reading now, I'm not going to stop. And then I'll definitely have to stay up all night and just get ready to go for my run without any sleep. So this is scary middle of the night Devin, because it's just how I get when I get tired and can't sleep. So I've been on Facebook most of the time and people are like, go to sleep. What's wrong with you? Why are you still awake? I'm like, I don't want to be awake. I want to be sleeping, but I can't. So then, sorry, I was looking to see if the crazy people were still out there. I don't know. Maybe they were looking for Pokemon or the lake. It's that way. Shh, don't tell. But it's weird that people will be walking around at 4 a.m. through my parking lot and across the yard into the woods. Hey, whatever. But I am trying not to get super discouraged about everything. But it's weird. Like, the one thing that I always love doing is work, and I love to put as much time and effort into it as possible, and that's all I want to do is just work. And I can't find a job. Like, it's really strange to me. It's a weird kind of rejection to have people tell you that they'll call you like, yeah, we had loved your resume and we looked at your stuff and we're going to give you a call so we can discuss the next steps, and then you never hear from them again. It's like going on a first date and everything seems to go really well, and then they're like, yeah, I'll totally call you later, and they don't. Only this is like 1,000 times worse because it's work. So you don't have to be pretty. You don't even have to put makeup on to fill out applications. I do sometimes definitely put makeup on for interviews. I even own a suit for that purpose. But I've only had to wear it one time because I've only had one set of interviews so far. I mean, I had an interview with a recruiter, but that doesn't really count. I wore a nice outfit, but not my interview suit. I told her I have one. So if she does set me up an interview, then I have one. But nothing. So yeah, my brain just constantly goes when I can't sleep. And I think I've tried using like sleeping stuff like Benadryl. And one time when I was much younger, I took Benadryl when I was sick. I say much younger, like 10 years ago. I took Benadryl when I was sick, and I stayed up. I couldn't sleep even more. Like, it was like I drank like 10 Red Bulls or taken 5-hour energy. I was like super jacked up, cleaned the whole house, which sucked because I was sick, but it was kind of interesting to know. So then I knew to stay away from Benadryl or anything with Benadryl as its active sleeping ingredient, because it does the exact opposite. And the problem with that is, oh, well, either you're awake or you're not awake, that's fine. But the problem is when it wears off and then you're all sleepy again, but worse because you're like got that crash too, and then whatever. I don't think you guys care. I think like 3 people are going to watch this video and they're going to be like, yeah, this is what it's like to not sleep. And then they're going to be like, that was a stupid waste of my time. But maybe they'll have insomnia and they'll watch this video because they have insomnia, and maybe this will put them to sleep watching somebody else have insomnia. Maybe. Who knows? Or maybe it'll make them stop watching any of my videos because they're like, I don't want to watch this crazy person anymore. Yeah. So, all right, I think I'm going to lay down. I'm going to lie down. I'm going to lay myself down. Huh, there you go. Combination. I'm going to go lie down and try sleep again. My apartment's pretty clean. Usually that's the thing that keeps me up, but it's pretty clean right now. And I don't want to vacuum while other people are sleeping. I do need to do laundry, but that's definitely at least another 2 hours of me being up, and then it'll be 6 a.m. and whatever. So I don't want to commit to that right now. I could unpack my backpacking bag. I could do that if I'm still up in like half an hour. I could write a new cover letter because I found a job that I kind of want to apply to, but it needs a fresh cover letter, like a new look. For my cover letter, which is fine. I generally use the same formula for all of my cover letters, and I change a little bit around just to fit the position, but it generally is the same one. But this job is something I'd really, really, really like to get, so I'm put a little bit extra effort into that cover letter so that it can get thrown by the wayside with all the other cover letters that I've written and sent, or so that it can be pulled by an automatic system that says no thank you, and then I get an email that says no thank you, for positions that I'm more than qualified for. Automatic replies from systems that I'm for jobs that I'm more than qualified for. Like, I've applied for several jobs at Kohl's. Never, ever have I heard back from them except for an automatic reply that says no thank you, and then at the bottom it says this is an automated message, but it was written by people from Kohl's who care. I don't really think that's truth. I mean, it might have been written by somebody at Kohl's that cares, but the insinuation is that Kohl's cares about the people who apply for jobs, but it's definitely qualified for this last position I applied for. I think it was an administrative assistant for marketing. And basically everything that I've done career-wise has been admin work, assistant work, and I did a little bit of advertising and marketing stuff for a while. So I'm pretty qualified for that job. And I didn't even get like a, hey, we'd love to get a list of your professional references, or hey, we should talk over the phone to see if you're a complete weirdo. I am, spoiler alert, but I'm also a very hardworking weirdo. So it'd be cool if somebody would interview me or hire me or whatever. And then the other company that sends me automatic replies all the time that just say no thanks, go away. I mean, in a nicer way, obviously, because that would be a terrible automatic reply, is Uline, which is south of here a little bit, I guess. I'm not really very familiar with the company, but I've looked into it. So I don't think I know anybody who works for them, but they've had a lot of listings right up my alley. And so I've applied for a lot of jobs with that company, and I've never even gotten like a human being response. Just all auto replies are like, no thanks, see you later, adios. And I know what people are saying right now. This is what people say when I tell them things like this. It's not a company you want to work for anyway. When it'll come eventually, right? You'll definitely get a job. It'll come. Yeah, I get that. I would like that job to be something that I really want to do, though. I don't want to wait to get a job until I have to take something that I don't even want, because that will be a huge bummer to me, because I love to work so much. So when I have to take a job out of necessity and it's something that I don't particularly even want to do, that sucks for me, because I still put all my time and effort into it, only I won't be happy. So that's going to stink. But yeah, so those auto replies, they're terrible. In case anybody's wondering, I understand you probably have a lot of people who apply for these jobs who are really not qualified, but I'm not really sure what your automatic scanning system looks for. But maybe you should broaden the parameters a little bit. Because I think that the thing that might be hurting my chances are the fact that only one of my jobs is listed as being called an administrative assistant. But in my defense, I was doing legal assistant and paralegal work for a long time, and advertising assistant work. So maybe broaden those parameters a little bit. Maybe that. Maybe a human being could look through the applications and resumes and stuff. Also, recruiters I'm hearing from, but then I'm not hearing from them again. So I don't know if they're like putting me in a database and they're like, I don't have anything for you. Or if they're doing the, yeah, totally, we'll let you know when something comes your way. And then they throw me in a pile or in the circular bin, that could be, I could be that person who filled out an application in purple crayon and under schools wrote School of Hard Knocks. I've seen that application. I giggled a little and put it in the file, because you have to keep applications for a while. But clearly that person was not going to get hired, because crayon and half the lines weren't even filled in. And I'm pretty sure that was the same person that said, I don't have a phone. I can just come back to let you know, or see if you want to interview me. And I was like, no, that's okay. We're not hiring right now. Because if you don't have a phone and you don't show up for work, what am I going to do to get a hold of you? And how do I find you if something goes missing? How do I find you if somebody comes in and says, hey, the night bartender sold me drugs? I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Maybe he was a perfectly nice guy who just really loved Purple Crayon and had, a hard time before that. Or maybe he was a crazy person. I don't know. Kept the application though, because that's a law. But maybe that's who I am to these people. Maybe they're like, hey, you crazy lady, please stop sending us 80,000 resumes. We already have your resume on file. You've applied for 15 jobs with us. Please stop doing that. We're never going to hire you. So that definitely discourages me from applying for another job for the same company. But it also kind of discourages me from applying for any job ever. So that's not good because I'm qualified for a lot of these positions that I'm applying for. I shouldn't say a lot of them. I'm on paper qualified for the majority of them. I'm experience qualified, not necessarily on paper, but I learned very quickly, and I think would be a good transition for a portion of them. So like some of them are reacher positions, like what I would say, on paper, I don't look like a very good gamble, but if somebody wanted to take a chance with me, I could be a very good gamble for some of these positions. Analyst positions that I'm applying for, training coordinator positions, which I would be very good at, but they don't know that. My resume doesn't scream that, but my cover letter kind of does. And when I write the cover letters for those things, I'm like, hey, give me a chance. I'm good at what I do. I'm very smart. I learn very quickly, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the positions I'm applying for are like administrative assistant positions, which I'm more than qualified for. And I would like to get into a company on that level so that I can go ahead and move up inside the company. I don't mind doing a few more years in admin. I'm good at it. I find the work relatively easy, and yet still keeps me busy most of the time. I'd have a really hard time being a receptionist because there's a lot of downtime as a receptionist, and you just say hi to everybody who comes in the door. And don't get me wrong, a lot of places have like you do projects in between, but I'm kind of a project-oriented person, so it's kind of hard for me to be like, hi, yeah, and then where was I in my project? I mean, I can do 16 different things at once, but I like to kind of stick with a certain one thing at a time. Make sure that gets done, next thing, that gets done, next thing, that gets done. That's what I like to do. So here's me babbling about work because I miss it a lot. I really do. I miss working like crazy. It's weird, like now that I'm only tending bar sometimes, like and summers aren't super busy at my night job. All the time I have and how terrible it feels to have all that spare time. Like I've had so many people who are like, hey man, I would love to have the whole summer off. That's awesome. And then other people are like, well, I'd only like to have the summer off if I had enough money to enjoy myself. Well, and I don't really like to do a bunch of super expensive stuff. Like I like going backpacking. I like laying by the pool all day. I like to read. I like to write. I like to do whatever. But I'm kind of a short-term vacation person. Like if I take a vacation, I want it to be like 5 days and I'm back to normal life. I don't separate myself from work life very well. I really like to work again for the 80 billionth time, and I miss it so much. I've had people who are like, hey, I think that I have this project work that you could help me out with. Let me look into it. And then I'll message them and be like, hey, do you have that project work? Could I help you? Is there something I can do? I'll do a little bit of part-time stuff. And then like, oh yeah, it turns out I really don't need anything right now. And I'm like, oh, cool. I was kind of hoping to feel useful again. But yeah, that keeps happening. I think people are just trying to tell me what they think I want to hear. Like, oh, Devin wants something to do. I'll tell her that I might have something for her to do so that she'll feel better about it. and then they don't really, because they're just trying to make me feel better. And then I'm like, oh, I'm following up on it because they mentioned it and I need a job. And then they don't really have anything. Which, whatever, trying to make me feel better. That should be nice. But basically, I am applying for a bunch of crap right now, and there are a couple companies that I'm really super interested in working for. One of them is Planned Parenthood. I think everybody who knows me knows that that would be an awesome fit for me. Awesome. I'm super, super pro women's health rights. I mean, my areas of focus in college, now I don't have any minor, I didn't get any minors because, ADD, and I wanted to take classes in everything, but there were several different places that I have took a bunch of classes in. So I'm really close to having a minor, but just never got it. Those subjects would be criminal justice, kind of want to go to law school, psychology, because it's super interesting the way the human brain works, and also law school, and women's studies. I'm a woman. And like I said, Planned Parenthood is a awesome nonprofit that I would love to do work for. I would love to volunteer for them. But every time I sign up for their volunteer list, it just sends me links constantly to donate money, which is great if I had any money, but I don't. So it's like, hey, here, follow us, send us some money. We'd like to do this. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to help you, but I don't have any money. So I wanted volunteer time. And for some reason, no time volunteering options come up ever. It's always just asking me for money. So then eventually I have to unfollow the volunteer thing. And so I've been signed up to volunteer for years and never have had a chance to volunteer. So maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe there's just nothing in my area. There are a lot of people around here, lots of liberals. Awesome. A lot of people who are big fans and big supporters of Planned Parenthood. Great. But I am interested in volunteering for them or getting a job for them, because that actually solves two of my problems. One, it solves the problem of me wanting to find something to make me feel good about myself and like I'm helping the world. It also solves the job problem. So I would put a lot of time and effort into that job because I really super believe in it, and I'd be willing to volunteer. So obviously I'm willing to work a lot of hours. So I just want them to remember that when I apply for this job opening that I found the other day that I don't want to tell anybody about, because I would like to be the only applicant, so they have to hire me. But I would like them to know that I am super all about working for Planned Parenthood. And people keep telling me, ooh, you got to be careful because they're going to lose their funding. Like, yeah, they've been around for a long time. I know, because I went to them for the first time 20 years ago almost. So there's that. And yeah, I mean, it might not be a forever kind of job because maybe they will lose funding. I really would hate to see that happen. I hope they don't, but I could see that possibly happening because it's a crazy world out there right now. But I would really like to work in a nonprofit. I want to work for a place that makes me feel good about myself. I want to feel like I'm making a difference in the world. I would happily work for Tesla company. That'd be cool. Doing like solar projects and green, environmentally friendly energy. That'd be cool. Basically anything that helps people. I would love to get into tech too, because I feel like tech helps people. Technology advancements help people. Whatever. I would pretty much do anything right now. That's not true. I did get a phone call from an attorney's office pretty recently about an interview, and I asked them what kind of law. Now, I don't want to go back into law. For anybody who's watching this and is like, oh, I have this job in law, I really don't want to go back into it. I'm burnt out on it. It would have to be really pro people. It would have to be like, I hate to say I want to fight for the good guys. Kind of want to fight for the good guys for a change. But the company that called me did collections law, and that would just make me hate myself every day of my life. So I was like, thank you for the call. I don't want to waste either one of our time, but I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to look at myself at the end of the day. We would have met up in person, and it would have been they would never have hired me anyway, because it would have been very apparent that it wouldn't have been a good fit for me. But yeah. So there are positions I wouldn't take. So I just want people to know that I'm really not all about working for anybody. I want to work for a company that treats their employees well, is progressive, um, with technology, or is trying to leave positive impact. I want to work with a company that does a lot of community outreach. I would love to work for a company that does a ton of promotion and cross training from within so that I can move into a company in an admin position or whatever, and then cross train in other positions, or maybe move to be a tech admin and then kind of train out from there. I want to work for a company forever. Like, it'd be cool if I could do some travel. That'd be cool too, because I like to travel. And I think I'm getting better at it. Like, I'm getting more patient with people. So travel might be a good idea for me. Also, throughout the years, I learn a lot about myself and what's good for me and what's not good for me. Also, I tend to learn to read people better, and I have more patience for people than I used to, which is cool. Also, this might be me having a nervous breakdown where I'm just begging people for jobs. Or it's insomnia. Probably insomnia. All right, I'm going to try to go lay down again. Lie down again. See? I'm so tired that my English language abilities are. But at the same time, yeah, I am not really sure what to do at this point. So I'm just going to try to go back to sleep. But this is my insomnia video, and I'm sorry that you just watched me babble for, I have no idea how long, because there's no timer on this stupid thing. So I have no idea how long it's been. It might have been, oh yeah, I do, because when I started this, it was just before 4. It's 4:23. So, it's been like a half an hour. So sorry about that. If anybody's still watching this, I hope you're sleeping and can watch it later, because if you're still up watching this, I feel sorry for you. But maybe it put you to sleep. So that's cool. All right, guys. I will find an interesting subject and hopefully record a video soon. Wish me luck. Good night.